Uh-oh. A whole group of players going at it.
Contact with the goalie will initiate extracurriculars more often than not.
Play a lot better. Pass and an opportunity to goal for Haney. Looked like he missed out on the chance, but Haney wristed it through for his fourth goal.
High Definition is presented by the following. Family Engineering. Family Engineering. Integrity into everything. NISC. NISC delivering information technology solutions and services that are member and customer focused, quality driven, and value priced. Beck Fiber. Beck Fiber is essential to the long-term viability of your home and lifestyle. Nothing is faster than a fiber optic network, especially when it connects directly to your home.
On a snowy day in Hillsboro, North Dakota, one team will book their spot in Fargo for the AA Dakota Bowl. Will it be the visiting St. Mary Central Saints looking for their fourth straight trip to the big game? Or will it be the hometown Burros of Hillsboro Central Valley in search of their first ever trip at the AA level? Happy to have you along, everyone. Corey Brooks and Noah Reed to bring you the action. And Noah, when you look at it that way, it makes it seem like Hillsboro is this plucky underdog, the new kid on the block. Certainly not the case. Dominated at the Class A level, come up to AA, and still a tremendous undefeated season for the home team.
Yeah, they transitioned really well from single A up to AA, and I think a lot of people expected that. They knew that, hey, it's the new kids, they're up a division, but that didn't really mean anything because you knew Hillsboro was going to come into AA, have a successful season, be one of the top teams in the state. They've been number one for most of the year. They're the one out of the East. They've gotten home field advantage all the way to the semifinals here with just 1 week left until the state championship game. Hillsboro team that's had a fantastic season. St. Mary's, who's on a road playoff game for the first time in a long time, trying to come here, get the upset, and head to the Dakota Bowl once again. Two teams that are very familiar with the Fargo Dome.
St. Mary's, a team that's been there, done that, hoping for one more. Hillsboro looking to remain unbeaten and go to the Dome. For now, we take our first time out on the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. On the other side, the AA bracket, and we dive into the matchups between the Burros and the Saints here in the semis.
Opioids are a type of medication that can relieve pain. However, just like any medication, taking opioids can impose some risks. Your pharmacist is a key partner and may be taking extra steps to ensure your safety when taking an opioid medication. Many pharmacists across the state can prescribe naloxone, which is a life-saving medication that can be given to someone who is accidentally overdosed. If you are concerned about yourself or a loved one that's taking an opioid, talk to your local pharmacist.
At Cass Clay, family comes first.
I'm Casey Schlotteroff. I'm a fourth-generation dairy farmer. Every one in my family is involved day to day. I got 3 other brothers. 2 of them are full-time on the farm. Mom helps feed calves every day. Dad is around and drives tractor. My 6-year-old already tells me that, Dad, I want to milk cows. We've been providing Cass Clay with the freshest quality milk for decades.
Cass Clay, made for families, owned by family farmers. Homegrown, pure goodness.
Evangel is one big church family that meets every week in multiple locations to worship Jesus, reconnect over coffee, and enjoy life together. We believe that a relationship with Jesus is best lived out in community. You can view service times at goevangel.org or watch live on Beck Sports Sundays at 9 a.m. Evangel, connecting real people to a real God.
Capital City Restaurant Supply is your one-stop shop for quality restaurant products for the large to small kitchens. Commercial-grade restaurant and bar supplies, limb game processing equipment, refrigeration, dinnerware, and smallware. We sell everything including the kitchen sink from trusted manufacturers for the chef and all of us. Open to the public since 1971, we are veteran-owned and North Dakota proud. Let us take care of your restaurant and home kitchen needs today by visiting us at 1414 Interstate Loop in Bismarck or on the web at capitalcityrestaurantsupply.com.
The strength of farmers and ranchers is their fierce independence and their ability to weather a storm. But sometimes it's not good to go it alone. When the stress of your operation gets overwhelming, you need to talk to someone. But if you can't open up to those around you, there is another option. Call 211 for listening and understanding. Sometimes it just makes sense to have someone at your side. This message brought to you by North Dakota Farmers Union.
In our case, we were gone every day while they were working here, so we wanted to have people that we could trust and be sure that everything would be taken care of and watched over. They did an excellent job of doing that.
I would highly recommend them. We have no complaints at all. They were professional, they were friendly.
We are very happy with the experience and the new windows and the doors.
Believe me, we get a lot of compliments on the siding, especially the doors, the entry doors.
Call Yanish Custom Exteriors to schedule your free consultation today.
This is the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. For all your insurance needs, contact your local Farmers Union insurance agent or go to www.fumic.com.
Welcome you back here to Hillsboro as we get ready for the Final Four matchup between the Burros and the Saints. Let's show you the other half of the AA equation as we go around the region. Brought to us by West Dakota Chevy Dealers. You can find something strong at your local Chevy dealer. Check them out online at westdakotachevy.com. There is the other matchup right there on top. The Beulah Miners taking on the Highliners of Valley City. Winner of that game obviously plays the winner of our game in the Fargo Dome next weekend. You get a look at the bracket. Hillsboro dominating Turtle Mountain to reach this point. Beulah, the win over Devil's Lake. Valley City handling Hazen. Interesting one, that other half, no, we won't talk about it too much, but the Beulah offense, unconventional at the least, against a very good defense in Valley City.
Yeah, that's the thing. Beulah's the favorite in that game, no doubt about it, but Valley City gives themselves a chance in every single game because of that defense. Nobody really blows out Valley City. When they lose, it's a 1 or 2 score game, and I expect the same today. I think Beulah probably gets by Valley City, but I don't think it's by a large margin. That Valley City defense is one of the best in the states. They shut teams down. There's been a couple times they've shut out teams already this year, so expect that other semifinal to be good, just like the one we've got today.
That is our look at the bracket, thanks to West Dakota Chevy Dealers. Now we'll take a look at our keys to the game, courtesy of Eventide Senior Living, which has been empowering older adults to thrive for almost 70 years, with locations in Moorhead, Fargo, West Fargo, Jamestown, and Devil's Lake. You can check them out at eventide.org. For St. Mary's, Noah, this offense has been one-dimensional, and they are great on the ground. But against an elite Hillsboro defense, they have to add that second line of attack. That's the air.
And what you're looking at right now, these snowy conditions make it even harder for St. Mary's.
No doubt.
Drew Dosh completed just one pass last week, and granted, he didn't need to because the Saints ran all over Kindred in the quarterfinal win, winning 42-0. They didn't have to establish the pass game, but I think at some point today, they're going to have to beat the number one team in the state in Hillsboro Central Valley. So that's interesting. You're right. That's the biggest piece of this game right now. If St. Mary's can throw and do so with efficiency, they give themselves a good chance on the road today.
Meanwhile, the Burros have one of the best running backs in the state. We'll talk about him in just a second, but that ground game at the heart of this attack to balance out a pretty decent air raid as well.
Well, the first time these two teams played in the regular season, Hillsboro Central Valley didn't have any passing yards. They ran for over 300 on the ground in that 20-7 win over St. Mary's. So that's what Hillsboro Central Valley wants to do. They know it. St. Mary's knows it. Everyone in this entire stadium knows it. But usually they can still run even though everybody knows it.
And so let's jump right in and take a look at that running back, as those are our Eventide Senior Living keys to the game. They flow right into our player matchup, brought to us by Choice Bank. The St. Mary's Saints will be tasked with trying to stop that running game. Joel Huber at the heart of that linebacking core. A really tough task for those guys today, but they're the most important group.
I think that linebacker core, as you said, is the most important. You're going to look at that second line of the defense. Can they get some penetration into the backfield and stop Oscar Benson and company? And I think Joel Huber leads that charge for St. Mary's defensively. Senior linebacker who's had a phenomenal season.
And, of course, for Hillsboro Central Valley, Oscar Benson, the future member of the North Dakota State University Bison, one of the top athletes in the state. Absolutely dynamic. wherever he is on the field.
Yeah, he's going to be playing more linebacker than running back at NDSU next year, but the year that he's had running the football for Hillsboro Central Valley has just been fantastic. They feed him the rock. Defenses have to slow him down. Not many have been able to do it this year.
That is our player matchup brought to us by Choice Bank. That is going to just about do it for us on the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. A reminder that for all your insurance needs, you can contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent or go to www.fumic.com. A special thanks to everyone who's making this game possible. Halstead Telephone, YourLiveEvent.com, Magnuson's Tires and Services, Irie Insurance Agency, and Casey's General Store right here in Hillsboro, North Dakota. One final timeout. Then on the other side, we kick things off. St. Mary's will get the ball first. Will they go to the Dome again? Or will it be Hillsboro Central Valley going to the big game in their first year in AA?
ReadyTech. We are client-focused, technology-driven. ReadyTech is your go-to for managed IT, phone systems, security systems, web design and hosting, networking, and cybersecurity. With offices located in Ellendale, Lisbon, Fargo, Grand Forks, Bismarck, and Aberdeen, South Dakota, we are readily available to assist you. Visit www.readytech.com and see all that we have to offer to make your business run more efficiently.
The starting lineups to be announced here in Hillsboro, so let's go ahead and do the same for you. Thanks to Moritz Sport and Marine, the largest range boat dealer in North Dakota. You can check them out on Marina Road in Mandan. You get a great look down the St. Mary's tunnel right there. We'll take a dive in at the two starting quarterbacks in this one, Noah. You already mentioned Drew Dosh, a prolific athlete for St. Mary's Central. So good on the ground.
Yeah, he's really good on the ground. He can throw it as well. Hasn't had to do a lot of going through the air because the last few games they've dominated that ground game and they've done a lot behind that offensive line of them. But at some point or another today, you got to think in order to beat the number one team on the state at their place, they're going to have to open it up with the pass game a little bit. He's crucial. He does such a nice job of managing the game as the leader at that quarterback position for Dan Schmeeker.
Meanwhile, for the Burros of Hillsboro Central Valley, we'll see Micah Gallagher get the nod at the quarterback position. About 500 yards, not earth-shattering numbers, but they don't need to be, often because the Hillsboro defense and running game sets him up in a great spot.
He does what he's asked of, and like you said, the numbers aren't going to blow you away. 500 passing yards on the season, but so be it. I mean, they didn't have to throw for a single yard to beat St. Mary's the first time in the regular season. That ground game behind Oscar Benson, who we already introduced you to for Hillsboro Central Valley, is what leads the charge for the Burros, and Gallagher does a nice job as the senior quarterback, the leader, getting the play calls and doing a nice job of running this offense.
The starting quarterbacks at the heart of the opening lineup, brought to us by Moritz Sport and Marine. Again, you can check them out on Marina Road in Mandan. Dan Schmeeker is the head man for that group right there, as we've come to expect from the longtime St. Mary's coach, in shorts no matter what. Despite 30 degrees and a pretty consistent snow, pants not on the game plan for Dan Schmeeker. Meanwhile, a veteran head coach on the other side as well, in Scott Olson, guiding this Hillsboro team to some of the best years they've had these last couple of years, dominating it in Class A, now up to AA. They've been at this level before. They've played St. Mary's before, but trying to make it to the final game for the first time at this level.
Yeah, AA for a while, went back down to single A and almost never lost a game in Class A in 2 years. Went undefeated, won the state title 2 years ago. Last year went undefeated in the regular season, got all the way to the state championship game being undefeated before Langdon took them down, the same team they beat a year before. So it was the Hillsboro Central Valley and Langdon show for a couple of years. The Burros, with the class realignment, get bumped back up to AA, and they have not missed a beat, just one game away from getting back to the Dakota Bowl, but this time at the AA level.
On the Beck family of networks, you can also find that Langdon team trying to go again to the Dakota Bowl. They will take on the Lisbon Broncos, pair of undefeated teams over on Beck Sports Plus. Also, if you want to go online, becksports.com, or on the Beck cable system, you will find the Linton HMB Lions in Cavalier. Tough road trip. A few 100 miles there between the Lions Den and Cavalier. But those two as well trying to set things up in the 9-man picture. The other half of 9-man, Kidder County is in Hope to take on Finley Sharon Hope Page. So a ton of football going on here. Semi-final Saturday. We all know the AAA teams, West Fargo Cheyenne and Century, as the Patriots held on last night on Beck Sports, expecting just as good a game here as the Burros prepare to take on the Saints. Okay, I know I said one final timeout last time. Now you have my solemn word. One last pause here from the Burro, and then we go. HCV and St. Mary's on the other side.
Beneath this home, and all homes like it, lies a labyrinth of pipe, cable, and conduit. I've decided to talk to an expert on the underground. Could you tell us where the underground lines are? Don't be shy. You're embarrassing me, sir. Oh, I hope the early bird gets you.
It's really important to help our members understand that co-ops are different, and that goes from economic development to education to a lot of other things that really helps to demonstrate that the co-op is not about just simply keeping the lights on, but it's about improving our members' lives.
A message from Chem Electric Cooperative, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Introducing Accord Comfort Sleep Systems, a better way to sleep. We offer you 5 different models to give you the perfect choice of support and body comfort. Every model begins with our exclusive Accord Comfort Reflex Layer. This ensures proper spinal alignment and a deep down body relief. Our 8-inch Whisper Breeze provides a medium firm feel, and our 10-inch Gentle Night model has a quilted top, giving you a medium plush comfort. Both use Outlast fabric on the top of your mattress, ensuring that your body temperature is not too hot and not too cold. Our Copper Rest Sleep Series is our premier mattress, offering your choice of firm, plush, and luxury plush. Every model uses copper-infused gel latex and provides all the health benefits of copper. Accord Comfort mattresses are handcrafted in the USA and come with a 60-night sleep guarantee. You're going to love sleeping with us. Order today exclusively at AccordSleep.com or Tom's Home Furnishings in beautiful downtown Harvey.
The snow continues to fall. The action will heat up in a moment as HCV takes on St. Mary's to try and reach the bowl. 12 minutes up on the board. St. Mary's won the opening toss and elected to receive as Dan Schmeeker keeps it old school. He wants his offense out there first. So HCV will send it away and bring out the top defense in AA football and statistically the most productive in the state this season.
Go Blue!
Be interesting to see how the elements shape things. It wouldn't be a semifinal Saturday if there weren't some weather. Snow continuing to fall. We expect that all game long. And the ball is up, and we are underway. Our Dagoman Industries kickoff, returned by St. Mary's. Just shy of the 35-yard line. Visit Dagelman.com for more information and to find an authorized dealer near you. Dagelman Industries, engineered tough.
Porter not an easy guy to take down as the big, stocky fullback gets a few extra yards on the second push, and St. Mary's in some business here starting at the 34-yard line for this offense against that stingy Hillsboro Central Valley defense you mentioned just moments ago.
HCV giving up 6 points per game. The toughest riddle in the entire state. Let's see if this veteran St. Mary's offense led by Drew Dosh can figure it out. First carry is off right guard, working his way ahead for a couple. St. Mary's trying to lean on that ground game as we've come to expect for a long time. Cullen Curl gets the opening carry.
Curl carried it 20 times last week in the quarterfinals win, and he would have carried it a whole bunch more if they needed him to, and they won 142-0. He really didn't touch the ball much in the fourth quarter. Expect him to get at least that 20 number, if not much more, in these elements of the snow today.
Hayton goes in motion as they load up the far side, do the Saints. That's where they go, getting through first contact. A nice job by Mark Horner. He is right at the line to gain.
Yeah, Horner does a nice job there. He's such a powerful runner in between the tackles. Gets hit by one man, but twists off that tackle and picks up a few extra yards after contact, and they give him enough for a first down.
6 yards for Mark Horner. It is indeed a St. Mary's first. You mentioned the Saints not necessarily needing their top-line guys in that first game. Dosh went 1 of 7 in the passing game. Here is his first throw, and it's caught. So Drew Dosh immediately matching his passing game production as Jackson Wiseman picks up a couple.
Yeah, he didn't complete a pass at all in the first half of that win over Kindred last week, and I like this game plan here. We talked earlier and to start the show about the importance of the pass game. That's a good call by Dan Schmeeker. Just a quick screen pass, get his confidence going a little bit early here with his first completed pass of the game.
3 yards in the air for Double D at the helm of the St. Mary's offense. Now he goes into rushing mode. One of the top running quarterbacks in North Dakota is across midfield to the 49-yard line.
That RPO can be a little tough to stop for defenses just because you think a lot of times Curl's going to get the ball more times than he isn't. That time Dosh, a very capable running quarterback, keeps it himself and picks up about 5 yards and makes this a third and very manageable.
The recipe for St. Mary's, easy third downs, and they're going to get it plus more. 8 yards on a nice explosive carry for Cullen Curl.
You got to give a lot of credit to this St. Mary's offensive line. They are usually undersized in every single game. That's a pretty small offensive line, but game in and game out, and especially at the start of this drive in the semifinals, they are moving that defensive line, picking up first downs.
Give Coach Schmeeker a lot of credit. He told us right as this season started, this is one of the smaller St. Mary's teams they've had, and they still managed to work. Fake fullback dive is rejected. Gavin Wright leading the way for Hillsboro Central Valley.
Curl takes a big hit and stays on his feet here when Gavin Wright comes flying in there. I thought he was going to be able to turn the corner. Wright comes flying in and puts a punishing hit on him and then sticks with it to push Curl out of bounds for a couple-yard loss.
Wright so athletic for HCV. Their leader in interceptions this season, nearly had 10. Dosh with time, way down the field, beyond the sideline, incomplete. Trying to find Jax Wiseman.
Good coverage downfield by Carson Henningsgaard. There was just nothing going, and that's the wise play from Drew Dosh. That's what you get in a senior quarterback who's been there a while. Nothing's open. He doesn't force anything into a tight window, just throws it away. So let's go after on this third down play right here. Where you're at on the field right now, maybe if you don't pick up a yard, you're going to punt it away on 3rd and 12, but you're across midfield. You're into Hillsboro Central Valley territory. I would expect this to be 2 plays to gain these 12 yards.
Snow basically coming straight down, so wind likely to not affect a punt. Dosh, little bit too tall, winds up falling to the snowy grass. Again, trying to find Wiseman. He's got all the targets today for St. Mary's Central. They make a mass sub.
Yeah, I think if they would have picked up about 5, 6, 7 yards here, you would see this offense staying on the field. But Schmeeker knows gaining 12 yards here on an obvious passing down, not something that's likely to happen. They put the punt unit on, and what you're trying to do here is just flip the field a little bit, pin this Hillsboro Central Valley team inside the 10, 15-yard line and make them start deep in their own territory.
Curl sends it away. Gavin Wright is the returner for Hillsboro. He'll never get to it, as that dies right around the 15-yard line. And so out comes the Hillsboro Central Valley offense, led by their running back, Oscar Benson. 969 yards on the season, averaging about 7 yards per carry. A dynamic athlete. And you can just about guarantee he's going over 1,000 sometime today.
Yeah, you got to figure he will. This St. Mary's defense knows they want to run. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 7, 8, 9 guys pack into the box throughout this game for the Saints defense, but that doesn't mean Hillsboro Central Valley will change what they want to do. They're going to give it to Benson as much as they can.
Teams have known all year long that's the guy. Hasn't slowed him down so far. Sure enough, first play. Right up the gut. Benson keeping the legs churning. Seemed to be bottled up for a few. Instead, he works his way to the 22. It's about 8 yards for Oscar Benson on opening touch.
Yeah, you don't just average 6 or 7 rushing yards per attempt for nothing. This guy gets hit right around the line of scrimmage and keeps pumping those legs forward, plunges forward. That's a good pickup on first down by the senior running back.
Committed to the Bison back in June. That was a no-doubter for him. SU will be happy to have him. Fullback dive again, faked. Hillsboro to the outside. Plenty of room to work. Look at the strides for Oscar Benson. Touchdown, Hillsboro Central Valley.
Well, it didn't take the Burros long to go 2 plays and 86 yards. Just give it to Benson and let him do the rest. The defense thought they were going fullback dive on 2nd and short. Instead, Gallagher keeps it, the smart move, pitches it to Benson, and he wins the foot race.
Nearly 80 yards for Oscar Benson. That'll push him well over 1,000. Only needed 31. He gets double that. And HCV takes the early lead. Gallagher on for the extra point. Good snap, good hold. Parker's kick is up, and it is good. The number 1 seed, Hillsboro Central Valley, and their star running back, Oscar Benson, up by 7.
This presentation of Burros football is sponsored in part by the following. Magnuson's Tire and Service, specializing in all auto and farm tires. They can also help with tracks and toppers for your UTV or ATV. Irie's Insurance Agency. And Casey's General Store. Good luck and go Burros. Give yourself the upper hand with the Degelman Pro Till High Performance High Speed Disc. The Pro Till is the right tool for working the soil after harvest, especially with large amounts of residue. The Pro Till features zero maintenance bearings, independence disc technology, and oversized pins and bushings that allow you to power through the toughest conditions you can throw at it. Visit Degelman.com for more information and to find an authorized dealer near you. Degelman, engineered tough.
Sent away by Hillsboro Central Valley, leading for the first time. And now St. Mary's will take our Degelman Industries kickoff into nice territory right around the 45-yard line. Again, you can check them out at Degelman.com for more information. Some good starting field position for St. Mary's. They're going to need it after the explosion from Oscar Benson on the previous offensive play.
The deja vu on this return again from St. Mary's. Horner gets it, goes through some contact, fights for some extra yards, and this time he's got the Saints well across the 40-yard line, nearly to midfield to start this drive. Good starting field position for St. Mary's, trying to answer back a nearly 80-yard touchdown run from Oscar Benson.
Right back to the heavy-set eye comes St. Mary's. Snap seemed like it was bobbled a little bit, and the ball will come out. Hillsboro Central Valley's got a shot at it. The scrum continues. Both teams point in the directions you'd expect, and it will stay with St. Mary's.
Saints fortunate there because when that ball pops loose, and we'll see it here, I thought Hillsboro Central Valley dives on it. Nice job to get a hand in there, rip it loose. Ball hits the deck, and it looks like Henningsgaard should have come up with that ball. Instead, it trickles around, and a great job to dive on that football and keep it for the Saints by Nick Windsor.
Winds up a 9-yard gainer for St. Mary's. Not exactly how they drew it up, nor is this. Here's that Hillsboro Central Valley defense. Caden Pastian on the big tackle for loss.
Second time we've seen that in this first quarter so far of a running play that gets diagnosed well by that Hillsboro Central Valley defense. And Pastian just pushes him out of bounds. That's a loss of about 5 yards.
The junior backer, another one of the top guys. So many different elite tacklers for St. Mary's. Philo Dryberg and company all getting it done. St. Mary's will stay on the ground on 3rd and long, and they'll be rewarded. Cullen Curl to the 44-yard line and a St. Mary's first down.
That's some hard-fought yards for Colin Curl. He does a nice job of displaying patience in the backfield, waiting for a hole to open up from that offensive line, and just a burst of speed right through it to pick up the first down. I know there's no points on the board for St. Mary's, but I like the way they're moving the football here through the first drive plus.
Saints haven't gotten inside the 40-yard line yet. They will now. Cullen Curl will lose the football. Well, they were across the 40, and now it's Hillsboro football.
Well, Gavin Wright was the one that made a huge tackle for loss on the first drive that set up a 3rd down and long for this St. Mary's offense, and now he's the one that comes away with the football. I'm not sure if he was the one that knocked it loose or not, but he was the one that saw it on the deck, dives for it, picks it up, and a big-time turnover here for Hillsboro Central Valley. Curl almost lost the football 3 plays ago. In fact, he did lose the football. St. Mary's was able to recover it. This time the Saints not so fortunate. Great start for the Burros.
This time they will go with that fullback dive. They faked it on the big Benson carry. This time it's only 1 yard. Like a little bit shaken up now. And so the training staff immediately out. They'll take Isaac quickly off to the sideline.
Second down and 9 for the Burros.
Sam Preston will come in, replace him, as well as bring in the play call from head coach Scott Olson. Hillsboro Central Valley, 10 returning starters from a year ago. So a group with some elite chemistry, and that's been on display here in this first quarter.
Yeah, you can't jump up a division and have as much success as Hillsboro Central Valley has had without the experience.
Oscar Benson out to the 44-yard line. He'll pick up 5 yards.
Joseph Kressler and Reese Barnhart on that stop.
Reese Barnhart on the tackle for St. Mary's Central High School.
Down and 4 for the Burros.
Did beat HCV in a semifinal game a few years ago. That was the first ever meeting between these two teams. This year in the regular season, a 20-7 win for HCV. So the 3rd time ever between these two for a trip to the Dakota Bowl. Benson on a flagged play picks up just a few.
That was an early regular season match between these two, and it's kind of similar to what Ron Wingenbach, the Century head coach, told me yesterday about that game when I asked him about the regular season matchup they had against Mandan, and he said you can essentially wipe that completely away. Playoffs, a lot different than regular season. Teams are playing differently this time of year, and you know, you can look at that 20-7 win for Hillsboro Central Valley, but how much does it really mean? Not much.
So St. Mary's had the chance to bring up a 4th down. Instead, Coach Schmeeker elects to accept the holding penalty, pushing the Burros back to the 40-yard line.
I think the thought process here maybe is if it's 4th and 1, maybe Hillsboro Central Valley's going for it. Now on a 3rd and 9, you know, I don't think you're going to go for it on 4th down from this distance where you're at in the field at your own 40, and maybe on a 3rd and 9 you make them throw instead of hand off to Benson, but he's certainly capable of picking up 9 yards as well.
That's where they go on the misdirection. Benson shedding tackles, and he will get 4.
Turns out to be the right call for Dan Schmeeker and company. Back him up a little bit, and now you're 4th and 4 instead of 4th and 1.
That'll bring up 4th and 4.
And Hillsboro Central Valley still looks like they're going to go for it. They go quick to the line. Nearly an offside, but nobody reacted on the HCV side. Now they'll switch. Trying to draw St. Mary's off. Very nearly did.
Close. They almost did.
Still 10 seconds left on the play clock, so really nice execution here for HCV. Punt is up and away from Carson Henningsgaard. And it's touched up just inside the 30-yard line by Coy Olson.
I like that from Hillsboro Central Valley. It looks like the aggression of the hurry up, try to get somebody to jump off sides for St. Mary's and get yourself a first down. Almost did. And like you said, the execution of knowing exactly what you want to do. The punt unit is ready. They swap on and off the field quickly, get the punt away, and turn the field a little bit. This is the worst starting field position St. Mary's has had in any of their 3 drives right now at the 27.
Yeah, it feels like whenever you see that, try and draw them off, you have to burn a timeout.
Mm-hmm.
Hillsboro does not. First play and a big hole here on the near side. Cullen Curl right back at it to the 37-yard line.
Nice job by the offensive line blocking, and look at this alley that he has. It's almost the entire width of your screen there that Curl has to run through. Good pickup on that first down carry.
Cody Marl and company leading the way. They want to come to that same side. Hillsboro was ready. Oscar Benson and the rest of the Borough defense there to make a play for HCV.
Oscar Benson and Zach Nelson, the senior defensive lineman, also coming in there to make that play. Second down and short. St. Mary's trying to just pick up the first down. Defense knows they're going to curl, tries to stretch it outside, but there was nothing going there. Another tackle for loss. On each of the first 3 drives now for St. Mary's, there's been one play where Hillsboro Central Valley has made a big tackle for loss.
That's exactly what I was about to say. They've got a few TFLs already, and it's just the first quarter. Start to understand how this is the best defense in North Dakota. A lot of movement pre-snap, draws a flag. False start, St. Mary's.
Well, you're looking at 3rd and 8 now instead of 3rd and 3, and I think that might change the play call. Dosh has already completed a pass. He's looked good, even on some incompletions. He's stepped up, thrown the ball well, and that's always tricky with the snowy conditions, how wet and slick that football might be. I think in this first quarter when he's thrown it, he's looked pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them go through the air here.
Well, it won't be going to Cullen Curl as he heads off.
And as does Lucas Hakinson, the tight end.
Essentially tells you this is a throw. Mark Horner is in to block. Dosh rolling, and it is incomplete, nearly intercepted. Gavin Wright almost had his team-high 9th.
Gavin Wright's done it all. A big tackle for loss on the first drive, a fumble recovery on the second drive, and nearly comes away with his 9th interception of the season on this play. You'll get a good look at it, and that's the right call. That does skid across the grass.
Just barely. Look at the extension from Gavin Wright.
Yeah, that ball bounces and juggles a little bit. He nearly gets
just
his
a little
hands
bit
under there.
That's closer than it looked in real time. That's tremendous work from Gavin Wright. Punt is away. Gavin will not put his hands underneath this one as Hillsboro Central Valley will take over at the 42-yard line.
3-yard line.
Seven to nothing. The big play so far. The start scamper for Oscar Benson. Burrow's got a big play in that first matchup between these two, and Ezra Longthorne 34-yard run. That was the opening score in that ended 20-7. Similar script here. Big play and a defensive battle. Ball sort of lost and ultimately results in a 1-yard loss for HCV.
Gallagher that time kind of just slips up a little bit and goes straight down to the ground.
Credit Chase Russell with the tackle. He was the one right there at that nose tackle position for St. Mary's. One of the rare tackle for losses for this SMCHS defense. The opening stanza. That's been mostly HCV. Off center, and still keeping the legs churning. Isaac with a nice little carry nearly midfield.
3rd down and 4.
6 yards for the senior. Benson off of the fake. St. Mary's gets to him quickly. Chris Birnbaum in on the tackle for SMCHS.
Nice penetration by that St. Mary's defensive line, brings up a 4th down, and for the second consecutive drive, the Burros punt unit has to come on. We saw the big explosive play from Oscar Benson on the first drive when he had that almost 80-yard touchdown run. But since then, both teams really kind of trading punts back and forth, a turnover from St. Mary's, but neither offense moving the ball well after that opening Hillsboro Central Valley
fake punt, good for Hillsboro Central Valley. The direct snap to Sam Preston, and they convert. How about that from Scott Olson?
You like the trickery. They almost went for it on 4th down a drive ago when they decided to put the punt unit out there at the last second. They bring the punt unit out, but this time the little trickery ends in a 1st down.
From 42 to 42, good enough for 16 yards, and Sam Preston pulls one out. Have to love the call here. Offense starting to slow down. You give them another chance. Play action fake, looking to the far side where it's caught. And the ball is loose, recovered by St. Mary's. Tough to hold on to it in the snow, and Joseph Pressler on the recovery.
Pressler had a big game defensively last week in the quarterfinal win for St. Mary's, and he makes a great play after the catch. Jars the football loose.
Hillsboro hasn't thrown it much. A nice job to knock it out, and Pressler recovers.
It was Thomas Jackson on the fumble force. Pressler dives in there on the fumble recovery.
And now, Dosh fell down, but he got rid of the ball in time. Still turned into a broken play, a very short gain for St. Mary's.
Seen both quarterbacks do that now once apiece, where they just, I don't know if they get their feet tangled up or if it's the wet field and they're slipping, but it happened once to Gallagher and it's now happened once to Dosh.
Snow continuing to fall with regularity here in Hillsboro. Starting to see its effect here on this semifinal matchup. Dosh hands, Cullen curl. Wrapped up, ball's pried loose again. Hillsboro Central Valley is unable to recover it. That looked like it was going to be HCV for sure.
Yeah, it looked absolutely like the Burros were going to recover that football. Nobody luckier on the football field right now than Colin Curl. He's lost the ball 3 times in this first quarter. 2 of them St. Mary's been able to recover, and both of them it looked like Hillsboro was the first to the football.
Scott Olson letting his guys know as this quarter comes to an end. The luck of the Saints, they trail by 7.
At Cass Clay, family comes first.
I'm Casey Schlotteroff. I'm a 4th-generation dairy farmer. Everyone in my family is involved day to day. I got 3 other brothers. 2 of them are full-time on the farm. Mom helps feed calves every day. Dad is around and drives tractor. My 6-year-old already tells me that, Dad, I want to milk cows. We've been providing Cass Clay with the freshest quality milk for decades.
Cass Clay, made for families, owned by family farmers. Homegrown, pure goodness.
We're Cooper Chevrolet.
We do things differently. Sure, we sell and service vehicles,
but we're so much more than that.
We work hard to make our guests happy,
earning us a 4.6-star average
and the title of Best Automotive Dealership in our community. We're Cooper Chevrolet.
And we're more than just a dealership.
Get another look at it right here. Curl with some good room to work. Cameroon comes up, rips it away. A wide open chance. Isaac can't get the recovery. That's the second time that Hillsboro's been on top of a football and has simply been unable to come away with it.
Yeah, the first one that it looked like Henningsgaard was right there and he just couldn't pick up the football, and St. Mary's dove on it, got it. Hillsboro Central Valley then got a fumble a couple plays later that they recovered, and this one on this drive, again, that's the 3rd time that the Burros defense has forced a fumble but only have come away with the recovery once of those 3.
SMCHS from midfield, and now you see 2 hands on the football, but that slows things up, and HCV led by Carson Henningsgaard. Happy to take advantage. Zach Nelson also in for another tackle for loss.
Third down and 9 for the Saints.
Look at the way he covers that football up.
Yep.
Not trying to let that football hit the ground anymore after 3 fumbles in the first quarter for St. Mary's.
Curl's an upperclassman back. He's been around this team for a few years. Knows the importance that Coach Schmeeker places on turnovers. They go to Curl. Collins brought down at the 46-yard line. Brings up 4th down, and Dosh comes out in the punting formation.
Yeah, you're right across midfield, which is maybe the territory you're looking to go for on 4th down, but I think they're trying to do what they did the very first drive where they punted away, pinned Hillsboro Central Valley inside the 15, and interestingly enough, on that drive was the one Hillsboro Central Valley actually scored on.
Gavin Wright calls for a fair catch and receives it at the 21-yard line. First time we've seen Gavin Wright actually get his hands on one. And the Burros come out at the 21-yard line. Defensive contest starting to emerge here. 27 total points in the regular season between these two. So it's a game script you began to expect. Benson disrupted it, obviously, but starts to feel like both defenses settling in here a bit.
Yeah, you take away that one big home run play, and then you're scoreless right now in the second quarter. And Benson does a nice job breaking loose and getting that touchdown. But aside from one play, it's been dominated by defense.
They'll go to Benson. He sheds through 2 arm tackles, and Oscar Benson. A 15-plus gainer for Benson on the first play.
Yeah, elusiveness of Benson there picks up the first down. Could have been stopped for a pickup of about 3 or 4, but then just slides his way through a couple tacklers who don't really wrap up and finds himself another first down. Over 100 yards in the game now for Benson already at the start of this second quarter.
Give him 16 on the opening scamper of this drive. Back to him. St. Mary's bottling him up in the backfield. Nice job to slow him down by Reese Barnhart, and the rest of the defense rallies too.
After a big run from Benson, you know they're going right back to him. That defensive line doesn't allow Benson to get through the tackles. This time for another big gain, he gets about 1 yard, and that's it. And we've seen that every time that Benson's ripped off a big run, usually that St. Mary's defense comes back and doesn't allow much the following play.
Reese Barnhart, one of the most physical players on the field today, the state champion wrestler, and very likely back in that position in a few months. Probing near side, not a lot of room to work for Oscar Benson as he is brought down. Brent Seffner and company for St. Mary's.
Yeah, that's a nice job by Seffner. To tackle Benson in open field is not an easy thing to do, especially one-on-one. And Benson tries to shake away from him. Seffner comes off the edge, and look at this. He just rips him right down to the ground. Not an easy play to make.
No, that St. Mary's defense paralleling him, forcing him to try and run it out wide. Seffner closes it down. 3rd and a few. How about the physical running here for Hillsboro Central Valley inside the 30-yard line. Isaac Lightly, the big run for HCV.
It's been all Benson in this game so far. Then they go fullback dive straight up the middle on 3rd and short, and look at the ability to just bulldoze through that line, and a big pickup for the Burros trying to make this a 2-score game in the first half.
.43 yards puts HCV back in striking distance. Benson probing off right tackle. Benson with space. Oscar Benson brought down right at the doorstep. Schumacher makes the tackle, but Oscar Benson will bring it inside the 5-yard line for Hillsboro Central Valley.
It seems like this Hillsboro Central Valley run game is just wearing down that St. Mary's defense time after time. You know, a couple short runs of 4, 5, 6 yards, and then big runs.
Benson's been over 100 for a while, but he talks on another 25. First down play, no good. You have to imagine HCV is going to try and keep it on the ground again here, looking for their second touchdown.
Yeah, tried to go quickly. This is the big Benson run that gets them in 1st and goal, and then they follow that up with a Gallagher run. Tried to go hurry up quickly, get that St. Mary's defense to the line, couldn't quite punch it in.
So now a much more measured tempo for Hillsboro Central Valley on play number 2.
expect Benson to touch this football here.
Instead, it is held onto and into the end zone. Gallagher fakes it and works his way in for a score.
Gallagher couldn't punch it in the first time. He fakes the fullback dive, keeps it himself, and just scampers his way into the end zone. That is a good-looking drive. That's exactly what Scott Olson wants on that drive right there. Run, 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 and they're able to pound it into the end zone.
Isaac throws the critical block. Touchdown, Hillsboro Central Valley. And now they will once again go for the extra point. Parker Gallagher right down Broadway on the first try. The underclassman kicker up and good. Hillsboro looking good at home.
This presentation of Burroughs football is sponsored in part by the following. Magnuson's Tire and Service, specializing in all auto and farm tires. They can also help with tracks and toppers for your UTV or ATV. Irie's Insurance Agency. And Casey's General Store.
We welcome you back into our Dagelman Industries kickoff. It's been Hillsboro Central Valley more often than not featured on those kickoff opportunities. Here comes St. Mary's, another nice return. This one's the best of the day. St. Mary's will start at the 45-yard line. Jackson Rorick setting up SMCHS, and Noah, opening field position hasn't been the issue today for this Saints team.
Yeah, I was just about to say that the special teams right now have been largely in favor of St. Mary's. Kickoff returns have gotten them good field position. Offense hasn't done a poor job. They've moved it into Hillsboro Central Valley territory a few different times already in this first half, but no points to show for it. This Burroughs defense bending but not breaking.
Third drive starting north of the 30. That's intercepted! Caden Pastian on the INT, and Hillsboro is dominating in the turnover margin.
Second turnover of this first half already. Could have been about 3 or 4 if they were able to hop on some fumbles on the ground that St. Mary's was able to get back to, but Pastian called his name a couple different times already in this first half. He's had a couple tackles, and that's an incredible interception. Goes up with one hand, pops it up in the air, and then gathers it. St. Mary's trying to switch it up a little bit offensively by going on a pass play on the first play, and instead it's picked off, and the Burroughs take over in St. Mary's territory.
Drew Dosh had 2 picks in the first matchup between these two. HCV picking up right where they left off. Before they get a playoff, though, a false start. First down and 15 for the Burroughs. St. Mary's only throwing for 87 yards in that first game, the 2 interceptions. Meanwhile, Hillsboro Central Valley over 300 total yards of offense that regular season game.
And none of them through the air. All ground game for this Burroughs team.
No shot on the opening play. Nice job to fly in for St. Mary's. That's Reese Barnhart again.
Yeah, not much going there for Longthorn. It's really the first time we've seen him carry. And Barnhart, who's been the leader, one of the leaders of this St. Mary's defense for a while, comes storming in there into the backfield, make a big tackle. They get the help of the false start before the drive even starts, and then a nice tackle from Barnhart.
3-yard loss to make it second down and about 18. Hillsboro to throw. Deep shot. HCV looking for a flag. And none currently on the field. Trying to work it to Gavin Wright.
Wright has a case, too. I thought he was being held almost the entire way down the sideline. Good-looking throw from Gallagher. That certainly seems like it should be a flag, but none thrown, and St. Mary's defense fortunate.
Special thanks to YourLiveEvent.com, powered by Halstead Telephone Company and RJ Broadcasting. Your home for Hillsboro Central Valley Athletics. Happy to have them along for our semifinal matchup. Out of the pistol, the late pitch to Oscar Benson. Benson cuts upfield. Oscar has the first down and more. Oscar Benson.
That's exactly what Oscar Benson's capable of. You're looking at a 3rd and 16. You're thinking obvious passing down, right? Not when you've got Oscar Benson. This is a great job by Gallagher. He takes a punishing hit on the pitch, but delivers a nice ball to Benson, gets a couple blocks. Nice patience displayed in the backfield and picks up that first down for Hillsboro Central Valley.
Nearly 30 yards for Oscar Benson as he creeps very close to a 200-yard opening half. Highly just short of the 20-yard line. Ends up at about the 23, gain of 4.
You're seeing how a Hillsboro Central Valley team can have over 300 yards of total offense and not throw for any of those. Just give the ball to Benson, let a couple other guys get some carries here and there, give Benson a little bit of a break, but, man, he has been the workhorse in this first half for Hillsboro Central Valley.
And all of a sudden, as HCV nears the red zone again, you can start to very easily imagine a scenario where HCV's up by 3 scores, a dominant margin at halftime.
And they get the football back to start the second half.
That they do. Now they're going to look for it all in the air. It's there, just a beat in front of Carson Henningsgaard.
The way that Hillsboro Central Valley has run the football in this first half has allowed things like this to happen. And I know it's not a completed pass. I know it's not a touchdown, but it was wide open downfield for Henningsgaard. You put 7, 8, 9 guys up in the box defensively for St. Mary's. That play action, they're all drawn in. Henningsgaard gets behind the secondary and just a little overthrown by Gallagher.
Henningsgaard, the deep threat for this HCV team. 13 catches for nearly 200 yards in the 10 games so far for the Burros. Gallagher loads up that backfield. He wants to throw again. Micah right down the seam. Falls to the turf, incomplete. Trying to find Gavin Wright, nearly intercepted by St. Mary's and Mike Stolway.
Pass intended for Gavin Wright.
So all of a sudden, Hillsboro turning to the air raid late in this first half. And on 4th and long, normally you'd say this will be another pass, but 2 incompletions in a row and Oscar Benson in the backfield. No guarantees.
Yeah, 3rd and 16, you go to the ground, and after, like you said, a couple incompletions, pass game may not quite be there on 4th and 6. Wouldn't be surprised at all if we see a run here.
They fake it. Benson wasn't in the backfield. That was more or less the tell. They find Gavin Wright, and it will fall just short of him. So a turnover on downs forced by St. Mary's Central. And now the Saints with 5 to go, trying to find their offensive rhythm.
The St. Mary's Saints needed that desperately to get that stop. Hillsboro Central Valley was driving with ease. It looked like they may go up 3 touchdowns here at the end of the first half. Defense stands strong. Now the offense needs to get something going. I think the defense has played well in the first half, not getting a lot of help from the offense.
Trying to run right up the gut and into the heart of that Hillsboro Central Valley defense. A nice job by HCV. So Hardy and company in to make the play.
Bastian again. I mean, he's been all over the field. Makes that tackle on Curl after just a couple-yard pickup.
Just a couple of yards for Colin Curl. Colin seeing double-digit carries here in this first half. Been productive, but has to maintain possession of that football. That's the number one thing. As St. Mary snaps this ball from the 26-yard line. False start against SMCHS.
Start on the Saints.
Not what they needed whatsoever. They've already had some troubles picking up first downs the last couple drives, not really driving down the field with much success. And just like that, 5 yards backs them up to a 2nd and long.
Scoring update from our friends over at Beck Sports Plus. The Langdon area Edmore Munich Cardinals will be headed to the Fargo Dome. If you're thinking it's a little early to say that, they lead 30-0 over the Lisbon Broncos. Give you some other updates as we get them, as the Fargo Dome picture becomes crystal clear here on semifinal Saturday. Curl working his way across the 25 to the 27-yard line. The game of most interest to the folks here, the matchup in Beulah. The Miners up 7-0, just a few minutes remaining until the halftime break between Beulah and Valley City. So early indication, winner of this game plays Beulah, but it's only a touchdown game, so a whole lot of football left just west of the state capitol. Third and medium, the handoff blown up. Bastian has been simply tremendous today.
Who else would it be besides him? I mean, he has made play after play right now for Hillsboro Central Valley.
They go to Curl and just knows. Timeout called by Hillsboro. They want the football back. Just over 3 to go.
American Crystal Sugar Company, with their 4,000 plus employees and shareholders, are deeply rooted in the communities of the Red River Valley. They're committed to the sustainability and growth of their business and to improving lives in the places where we work and live by investing in people, our communities, and the future of American Crystal Sugar. Visit crystalsugar.com to learn more about scholarships, grants, volunteerism, donations, and more through the Community Roots American Crystal Giving Program. Growing strong community roots. American Crystal Sugar Company.
A special thanks to Halstead Telephone Company, YourLiveEvent.com, Magnuson's Tires and Service, Irie Insurance Agency, and Casey's General Store here in Hillsboro. As you get a good tight look right there at Caden Bastian, the early defensive player of the game, forcing the issue and bringing about this St. Mary's punt off a hop. Gavin Wright cuts up field. Gavin Wright across midfield to the 49-yard line. And so HCV gets their best starting field position. Started on the right side of midfield last time as well. We're moving it well, then 3 straight incompletions derailed the Borough attack.
Yeah, they were getting the run game going quite a bit, and I think they were trying to catch St. Mary's off guard, ran a couple play actions, try to get the box filled up with defenders from St. Mary's, and didn't really have much going in the pass game with 3 straight incompletions. See if they go back to that run game, which has given them a lot of success in the first half.
Option is Gallagher just slides, still catches a bit as he picks up 3 yards.
I think that could have been a much bigger play if he doesn't slide down there. He had quite the hole, and that St. Mary's defense was expecting the pitch here. They go that way. He splits a couple defenders there, and if he doesn't slip, he might have a few more yards than just the 2 or 3 he picks up.
Had Benson with some space on the outside as well, but it was going to be a tough pitch. Now they do go to him. Oscar Benson off the fake fullback dive. This was the play he scored on earlier in the game. And Oscar Benson with another big shot for Hillsboro Central Valley. A gain of 25.
There has just been no stop for this guy running the football. They fake the fullback dive. Defense goes that way. Nice job on the pitch to Benson. And look at him just spin away from tacklers. The yards after contact for Oscar Benson in this first half have been unbelievable.
Back-to-back series now where Benson's got a 20-plus yard play. They fake it to him. St. Mary's did not bite. Reese Barnhart locked in for the Saints.
Yeah, he's been all over the field defensively for St. Mary's. He almost made the tackle on the last play before Gallagher was able to make the pitch. And on the play action, Barnhart diagnoses it perfectly and brings down Gallagher for a big loss.
Tough to contain Reese Barnhart. He's got those moves on the mat in the interior going up against the offensive lineman. He has lived in the Hillsboro backfield today. Following the 7-yard loss, they turn to Benson. He explodes off center. and basically gets the lost yardage back.
That's exactly what he does there, is gets right back to the original line of scrimmage. So still 3rd and long, though, for the Burros offense.
Hillsboro is going to call the timeout. It's 3rd down and long on the other side here from the Burro.
This is Chris Brecken from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. At RDK, we specialize in seed meter calibration, planter maintenance, and offer the full line of precision planting products. Walking your fields with you, helping you identify maintenance issues on your planter, developing a plan that puts you back in control of your planter. That's what we do here at RDK. Call RDK Enterprises 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
Things have largely been good in that Hillsboro Central Valley scrum, led by head coach Scott Olson. This team got up very early off the 78-yard Benson run, now trying to make it 3 scores before halftime. Really provide a rude welcome to the Saints of St. Mary's, who have not often been on the road here in the playoffs this last decade. Saints looking for their 4th straight Dakota Bowl. Hillsboro trying to get there. First year back in Double-A. Benson may be the horse that carries them to Fargo as he is hit out of bounds, but not before he gets inside the 10 for a Hillsboro first down.
Lots of 3rd and longs in this game so far in the opening half for Hillsboro Central Valley, and they haven't passed on many of them either. Just give it to Benson, let him do the work. He picked up a first down on a 3rd and 16 last drive. This time 3rd and 9, escapes a tackle and gets to the edge before finally being shoved out.
Benson had about 1,000 coming into the day. He's got a 5th of it in this game alone, just shy and working his way in on the second effort. Isaac's been the guy in the red zone, and Hillsboro Central Valley, a 3-score edge.
A big-time score here before the halftime break with under 60 seconds to play. Benson gets them all the way there. Isaac punches it in for 6 more. 3-touchdown lead under a minute to go in this first half.
Extra point is up, and it is good. Parker is 3 for 3, 21-0. Hillsboro Central Valley. Impressive first half.
This presentation on the Beck Sports Network is presented by the following: Bell Bank, member FDIC. Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Farmers Union Insurance. West Dakota Chevy Dealers.
HCV up 21-0 just before halftime. Defense is really settling in for the most part here in this later part of the first half, but the ground game for Hillsboro just throwing body punch after body punch, and now that halftime break can't come soon enough for the visiting Saints. Off of the squib kick, once again, St. Mary's will start right around midfield. Barnhart picked it up, ran with it, and SMCHS will have a shot here with 52 seconds.
And all 3 timeouts, too. So they've got an opportunity to score, and if you're Hillsboro Central Valley, that touchdown could prove to be really big because it could be a 2-touchdown swing. If you can hold St. Mary's here in the final 50-plus seconds, you get the football back, and you could make it another touchdown to start that second half, and they would be cruising.
First play, probing off right tackle, and a nice little gain across midfield to the 48-yard line. Got to keep going here if you're St. Mary's. Clock continues to run. We'll get to about 30.
Second down and 7.
St. Mary's not going especially quick. Dosh Gonna look for the big shot right down the middle, and he finds Wiseman. Jackson Wiseman, first catch since the opening series. He's to the 23-yard line. Saints on the move.
That's his favorite target. Wiseman gets out in open space down the middle of the field, and Dosh finds him.
On the 24-yard line.
Not a ton of completions in this first half for Drew Dosh, but he comes up with a big one there. 14 seconds remaining. Wiseman's been the guy. They targeted him 3 times in that opening series, and now you probably have to look his way once or twice more here. With just 14 seconds, the ground game's all but out of play.
Yeah, St. Mary's isn't a team that goes through the air much, but when they do, Wiseman's been the favorite target of Dosh all season long. An athlete who can get out in open space. You saw it there, makes a move, gets away from the defender, makes a catch over the middle of the field, and then picks up a few extra yards on the run as well.
And Coach Dan Schmeeker been doing this for about 4 decades now. One of the most creative offensive coaches in the Peace Garden State. He's going to need all of it right now. Needing 24 yards in 14 seconds in snowy weather. Make it 29 yards.
That does not help at all. A false start right out of the timeout, and that's something you hate to see if you're a coach. Called the timeout, slowed things down a little. It's different when you're in the hurry up and trying to get to the line. You may make a mistake, but when you've got that timeout, you have time to talk it over, and your teams come back out and you jump off sides right away. Not a good start in this final 13, now 14 seconds as they add a second back on the clock.
Load up the near side. That's where Drew looks. Dosh under pressure, brought down. Isaac Lutley doing a great job. He scores the touchdown. Now he gets the tackle and forces the St. Mary's Central timeout. We'll step away. A 30-second pause here at the end of half one.
Give yourself the upper hand with the Degelman Pro Till High Performance High Speed Disc. The Pro Till is the right tool for working the soil after harvest, especially with large amounts of residue. The Pro Till features zero maintenance bearings, independence disc technology, and oversized pins and bushings that allow you to power through the toughest conditions you can throw at it. Visit Degelman.com for more information and to find an authorized dealer near you. Degelman, engineered tough.
St. Mary's quickly in and out of that huddle. Whatever their big pass play is in practice, they've got it dialed up now. 8 seconds remaining. Saints trying to get on the scoreboard here right before the half. Dosh sets up the swing pass. Cullen Curl knocked out of bounds. 4 seconds left. So it'll be a 21-yard heave to the end zone for St. Mary's Central.
Yeah, I like that play right there. You know you can make 2 plays out of it if you get out of bounds. They get that swing pass out to Curl. He picks up 8-10 yards, and now you're right around the 20-yard line for a chance at the end zone here in the final 4 seconds.
St. Mary's brings in some extra help to block, knowing this is going to take a second to develop.
Yeah, and the defensive backs for Hillsboro Central Valley with their heels all the way back on the goal line. They know this ball is going to the end zone. Anything short of that, they're fine.
St. Mary's has the timeout, and they will take it. Trying to draw up the Hail Mary here at the end of half one in Hillsboro.
Degelman Industries has been manufacturing reliable, high-performance equipment for over 55 years. See for yourself with the industry-leading Degelman Land Roller. Available in sizes from 20 to 80 feet, a Degelman Land Roller decreases downtime and fuel cost and provides optimal seed-to-soil contact while reducing weeds and moisture loss. Visit Degelman.com for more information and to find an authorized dealer near you. Degelman, engineered tough.
Special thanks to YourLiveEvent.com, powered by Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting. The spot for HCV Athletics. Right now, it's their defense trying to hold on. Dosh has the time. Now flushed. Sends it downfield. And it's caught, but out of bounds. Wiseman had a shot at it. He looks for the PI that is not thrown. St. Mary's nearly has it, but it's Hillsboro Central Valley up 21 at the half.
Life changes, so what's on your horizon? Horizon Financial Bank has been helping North Dakotans with financial goals since 1905. And now we're here to serve you in Bismarck. We're North Dakota proud, and being from North Dakota means something. A bank with small-town roots. We've crossed many horizons, and now we're here to help you cross yours. We're Horizon Financial Bank for the changes on your horizon.
Get off the trail at Totten Trail Bar and Grill. Stop in and fuel up at the 24-hour Sinclair station. Enjoy a famous Totten Trail burger or a pizza. Check out the daily lunch and drink specials. Happy hour from 5 to 6. Enjoy your favorite sports teams on 6 flat-screen TVs. Hotel and RV sites available. Book your next event in the beautiful banquet hall. Get off the trail at Totten Trail, north of Lake Audubon on Highway 83.
Beneath this home, and all homes like it, lies a labyrinth of pipe, cable, and conduit. I've decided to talk to an expert on the underground. Could you tell us where the underground lines are? Don't be shy. You're embarrassing me, sir. Oh, I hope the early bird gets you.
It's really important to help our members understand that co-ops are different, and that goes from economic development to education to a lot of other things that really helps to demonstrate that the co-op is not about just simply keeping the lights on, but it's about improving our members' lives.
A message from Chem Electric Cooperative, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Beck Lightband Internet is the fastest internet service in North Dakota, outpacing speeds in the largest cities nationwide. Beck Communications planned and built Lightband Internet to bring you a superior, more valuable customer experience. We connect you to family, business, education, and entertainment without restrictions or speed limits. Beck Lightband Internet handles all your digital needs without throttling your connection to the world. Beck Communications, valuable digital connections in rural North Dakota.
Learn smarter, earn faster. NDSCS. Learn smarter, earn faster. NDSCS.
Your tires, you probably don't think about them much until you have to. So if you're thinking about tires, trust OK Tires' team of certified techs and knowledgeable staff. They'll get you the right tires and service for your vehicle with no hidden costs. OK Tire features a wide selection of BF Goodrich tires. Experience what your vehicle is capable of with BF Goodrich. Life's better when you're not thinking about your tires. OK Tire, now an employee-owned company.
The strength of farmers and ranchers is their fierce independence and their ability to weather a storm. But sometimes it's not good to go it alone. When the stress of your operation gets overwhelming, you need to talk to someone. But if you can't open up to those around you, there is another option. Call 211 for listening and understanding. Sometimes it just makes sense to have someone at your side. This message brought to you by North Dakota Farmers Union.
Farmers Union Insurance Halftime Report. For all your insurance needs, contact your local Farmers Union insurance agent or go to www.fumic.com.
Back we come here to Hillsboro. The snow falling, as are the rushing yards for the Burros of Hillsboro Central Valley. Oscar Benson takes it to the house, nearly 80 yards. Not necessarily real-time guaranteed, but boy, he seems like he's that fast. Oscar Benson, a massive play that opened up the action. St. Mary's, meanwhile, having some difficulty holding on to the football. A barrage of fumbles as HCV went after that football with Cullen Curl.
Yeah, they certainly did, and they forced Cullen Curl to put the football on the deck 3 different times in the first quarter. They only recovered one of them. St. Mary's was able to keep the football the other 2 times, but 2 turnovers, 1 fumble loss, 1 interception. Defense has looked good. Offense has 2.
Sam Preston had that fake punt. Then St. Mary's winds up getting after one. Joe Pressler and company make it happen. The quarterback keeper for Micah Gallagher put SMCHS on their back heel in a big way as HCV gets up and then continues to ride their bell cow back. Oscar Benson galloping down the field, and he would wind up setting up the Isaac Lightly touchdown to put Hillsboro Central Valley up by 3 scores. Jackson Wiseman nearly gets the big play at the end, but just misses, and that sort of sums up that first half for St. Mary's.
Yeah, Hillsboro Central Valley gets a big touchdown there at the end of that first half, makes it a 3-score game, which in turn could turn into a 2-touchdown flip here because they score that one. Now they get the football back to start the second half. St. Mary's offense looked the best that it had all first half long, but really ultimately they just run out of time there at the end of the first half. 3-touchdown lead right now for the Burros, and you're looking at going into this second half with the Burros getting the football back. They've got a chance with the ball to go up 4 touchdowns at the beginning of the third quarter.
Dominant start for HCV. The new kids on the block looking like anything but as they lead by 3 scores here during our Farmers Union Insurance halftime report.
Bought our ticket and the lady said, yeah, it's at 2 o'clock.
This presentation of Burros football is sponsored in part by the following. Magnuson's Tire and Service, specializing in all auto and farm tires. They can also help with tracks and toppers for your UTV or ATV. Irie's Insurance Agency. And Casey's General Store. Good luck and go Burros.
YourLiveEvent.com thanks everyone who sponsored this season's broadcast. YourLiveEvent.com will be your home for the North Dakota Class B Region 2 Volleyball Tournament in Grafton. Catch every match live on YourLiveEvent.com. Visit the website and become a subscriber on YouTube today.
This life, full of moments, big moments, small moments, in between moments. It's about missing out on nothing and celebrating everything. It's how we at First International Bank and Trust live first and have been for over 100 years. One customer, one family, one moment at a time. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
Today at Farmer-Owned Ag-Tegra, that legacy-rich, future-focused cooperative spirit continues to thrive. Our devotion to superior service, relentless innovation, and member success is at the forefront of everything we do. We give members access to the best products, services, and in-field assistance to maximize their production. We dedicate our efforts to the safety of our employees and members in all that we do, and we commit to supporting our members and their communities for generations to come.
It's great to have the kids visit. An engineer, a business owner, and a doctor, and I couldn't be prouder. But student loans from B&D really helped. But their accomplishments are all their own.
Bank of North Dakota, helping you achieve more.
My plan was to get a degree in engineering. And with the help of a student loan from Bank of North Dakota, I did. If you want to build something solid, you need a plan.
Bank of North Dakota, helping you achieve more.
Healthcare is about innovation. It's about finding new ways to treat illness, to treat injury, to treat you better. At Altru, we're embarking on a bold new era, focused on you, focused on the future. From building a new hospital to adding more services that fit your life, everything we're doing is designed to serve you better. You are why we do this. Focused on you, focused on the future. Altru.
Opioids are a type of medication that can relieve pain. However, just like any medication, taking opioids can impose some risks. Your pharmacist is a key partner and may be taking extra steps to ensure your safety when taking an opioid medication. Many pharmacists across the state can prescribe naloxone, which is a life-saving medication that can be given to someone who is accidentally overdosed. If you are concerned about yourself or a loved one that's taking an opioid, talk to your local pharmacist.
Get off the trail at Totten Trail Bar and Grill. Stop in and fuel up at the 24-hour Sinclair station. Enjoy a famous Totten Trail burger or a pizza. Check out the daily lunch and drink specials. Happy hour from 5 to 6. Enjoy your favorite sports teams on 6 flat-screen TVs. Hotel and RV sites available. Book your next event in the beautiful banquet hall. Get off the trail at Totten Trail, north of Lake Audubon on Highway 83.
Hi, Jim Weber here. I'd like to have you stop by and take a look at our SUVs from small to large with innovative new features and styles. I'm proud to be selling America's #1 truck for the past 40 years with innovative new styling, features, and 10-speed transmissions for better mileage. We have the new Ford Ranger as redesigned and updated. Jim Weber Ford also sells and services new and used golf carts. We also have a good selection of used vehicles, mostly local trades. The closer you look, the better we look at Jim Weber Ford.
Your tires, you probably don't think about them much until you have to. So if you're thinking about tires, trust OK Tires' team of certified techs and knowledgeable staff. They'll get you the right tires and service for your vehicle with no hidden costs. OK Tire features a wide selection of BF Goodrich tires. Experience what your vehicle is capable of with BF Goodrich. Life's better when you're not thinking about your tires. OK Tire, now an employee-owned company.
I just went in for a regular mammogram and I found out that I had a little tumor.
Through the exam and the biopsy, it was determined that I had cancer.
I got a call from one of my doctors that I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
After 5 years, they found a local reoccurrence.
The first thing you hear when you're told you have a cancer, it's a little daunting because you don't know where to go with it.
Since 1999, in a partnership between CHI St. Alexius Health and Sanford Health Bismarck, the Bismarck Cancer Center has provided the most advanced radiation therapies and holistic support services for cancer patients and their loved ones for 20 years.
I've been at the Bismarck Cancer Center since it started. I actually was in the basement of Med Center 1 before, when we had old machines and old equipment. And thankfully, the two hospitals at the time, St. Alexius and Med Center 1, joined forces to create the Bismarck Cancer Center.
I walk in the door, I get nothing but hugs, and I was marveled at them. I mean, I thought it was the best place in the world.
The staff is unbelievably compassionate, and they explain everything to you.
Everybody's genuinely concerned about your well-being, and the level of care is just top-notch. The Cancer Center just does such an amazing job of helping people.
To me and my family, the Cancer Center means life. It's given me the ability to live out my life with my family, my wife, my children, my grandchildren.
Because of them, I'm 2 years out, get to move on with my life, make a difference now for other people.
I would recommend this center because the minute you walk through that door, they've got your back.
This center means so much to me and to the people that are in this building, and we just want to keep giving it back to the community and providing for them what they need.
I'm Katie. I've been cancer-free for 2 years.
I'm Steve, and I've been cancer-free for 4 years.
I've been cancer-free for 10 years.
10 years.
11 years.
15 years.
My name is Lainey, and I've been cancer-free for 18 years.
Bismarck Cancer Center, your partner against cancer for 20 years.
Today's broadcast in high definition is presented by the following: Finley Engineering. Finley Engineering, integrity into everything. NISC. NISC delivering information technology solutions and services that are member and customer focused, quality driven, and value priced. Beck Fiber. Beck Fiber is essential to the long-term viability of your home and lifestyle. Nothing is faster than a fiber optic network, especially when it connects directly to your home. This presentation of Burrows football is sponsored in part by the following. Magnuson's Tire and Service, specializing in all auto and farm tires. They can also help with tracks and toppers for your UTV or ATV. Irie's Insurance Agency. And Casey's General Store. Good luck and go Burrows.
Welcome you back in here as the Burros try and hold the 3-score lead to go to Fargo to take on either Beulah or Valley City. That game is tied up at the half in Beulah. Some other scores for you. Kidder County's up a couple. Touchdowns on Finley Sharon Hope Page. Cavalier and Linton are tied at 7 at the break. And Langdon is up by over 40. So the first team realistically to book their spot to Fargo here on semifinal Saturday, the Langdon Cardinals. And now we begin to piece together this one as HCV scheduled to receive the football, leading 21-0. Looking for an early haymaker at half 2.
That stop at the end of the first half for the Burros defense proves to be huge because now they get the football back up 21-0 and a chance to extend that 3-touchdown lead.
Huber will send it away for St. Mary's. Off one hop, Gavin Wright. On the far side, Gavin Wright with some room out across the 40. Gavin Wright to about midfield. Everything is going Hillsboro way right now.
Yeah, the special teams game was where St. Mary's was holding a little bit of an edge. They had a lot of good kickoff returns, but not quite the case here. It's Hillsboro Central Valley on the opening kickoff.
For the first time we've seen HCV on our Dagelman Industries kickoff. Visit Dagelman.com for more information and to find an authorized dealer near you. Dagelman Industries, engineered tough. And a tough run for HCV. Trying to run right up the gut. Absolutely eviscerated by the St. Mary's front. Chase Russell and everybody else on top for SMCHS. Blowing it up from the word go.
Yeah, good start for this St. Mary's defense on the opening play. They get some speed into the backfield and a good tackle right around that line of scrimmage.
You see our JSI look ahead. John Star Locks Incorporated celebrating more than 50 years of balancing progress with perspective for communications providers. The Region 3 tournament next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, with the WDA tournament to follow. Particular note for those back in Bismarck. We'll have the final day for you on Saturday. Oscar Benson will work his way to the 46-yard line, a gain of 4 for OB. On pace for about 400 yards in this game.
Yeah.
We talked about the key for Hillsboro being that ground game. You expected them to pass it maybe a little bit more, but it has been all the running game. Benson and Lightly, the dynamic duo, powering HCV to the 3-score lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what Hillsboro Central Valley wants to do is just run the football time after time again, and why not when you got those backs, as Benson especially.
Yeah, no doubt. Though, to be fair, Henningsgaard was about 2 feet away from the big pass play. Benson exploding right after the handoff, but he is short of the line to gain. 4th down, only a few to go, though, on the right side of midfield, likely 4-down territory.
Yeah, I'm going for up 3 touchdowns. You know, you've got a big gap to work with right now if you're Hillsboro Central Valley, but it looks like they're going to send the punt unit on. Surprises me a little bit.
Gavin Wright was getting ready to head off. He thought it was going to be a heavy-set 4th down, and instead he's redirected back on. Although, we have already seen a fake punt for HCV.
It's a little longer than I thought, too. I thought you were looking close to a 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and now you're looking at a 4th and long 3 here instead.
Preston is the up back. He was the guy on the last fake. This one seems legitimate. It is. Henningsgaard sends it away. It is fair caught. Right at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, not wanting to take some huge risks, and I get that for Hillsboro Central Valley. You flip the field a little bit, and now St. Mary's has to take over at their own 20-yard line. Offense has moved the ball at times in this game for St. Mary's, but nothing really that has allowed them to go 80 yards down the field at any given moment. They don't have any points on the board, so if you're Scott Olson, you're probably playing those percentages saying, let's see if the offense can do something on the St. Mary's side against us.
Drew wants to throw first play. Dosh bobbled, and it turns into an interception. Was about to be the biggest passing play of the day for St. Mary's, and instead Ezra Longthorne, one of the top receivers, he's got his first catch on the defensive side.
This is a really good throw from Drew Dosh. He is out of the pocket, rolling out, throwing on the run, and he delivers this right where it needs to be to Pitts, and he bobbles it twice and right into the hands of Ezra Longthorne. Nice job by him to stay with it, off the juggle, make the interception, and hey, that's why they didn't go for it on fourth down. They got better field position this way.
All part of the plan for Scott Olson. Turnovers continuing to define this football game. The absolute Achilles heel for St. Mary's. Triple reverse. Winds up with Gallagher. Micah Gallagher is still on his feet. And he's at about the 22-yard line. Saving that for something. Scott Olson breaking out everything here in the semis.
Yeah, why not have a little bit of fun? Up 21 right now. You take over in St. Mary's territory after the third turnover of the game from your defense. Triple option and ends up right back in the hands of the quarterback and Gallagher, who picks up 9 yards.
I haven't seen Micah Gallagher too involved in the offense today. They turned to him there, and he's got a nice little carry to bring up 2nd down and 1. Play clock down quickly. Just in time. They go to Benson. His carry off left tackle is a first down.
And just enough to move the sticks there for Benson, not asking him to do a whole lot. Picks up a few yards. Fresh set of downs inside the red zone now for Hillsboro Central Valley.
On the 19-yard line.
Third all-time meeting between these two teams. Series is dead even. So the third time is the charm with the biggest stakes. The fake, the deep ball by himself. And holding on for the touchdown is Carson Henningsgaard.
Biggest play of the game through the air right now for Hillsboro Central Valley. Henningsgaard gets behind the entire defense. Weren't expecting a pass there on a first down play. Play action gets them to bite. And wide open down the field is Henningsgaard. You saw Thomas Jackson on that far side. He started creeping up from the cornerback position, and that left Henningsgaard wide open in the end zone.
Second time they've gone to that play action deep. Henningsgaard's been wide open both times. Capitalizes on the second. Extra point is up, and it is good. Their first year back in AA. The Burros may be headed back to Fargo. HCV lead. And as Hillsboro, so familiar with the Dakota Bowl in Class A the last couple of years, bumped up as many teams were this past offseason, it has not slowed them down. Dominant performance here in all phases. Off our Dagelman kickoff, it'll be St. Mary's about the 27-yard line. A nice tackle for Jack Polsrud. The semifinal between Bishop Ryan and Velva down in Class A. Bishop Ryan will go to the Dakota Bowl, knocking off their neighbor Velva 32-20. That was the only game today that started at 1 o'clock. So the first team to officially book their ticket on semi-Saturday, the Lions of Bishop Ryan. They will almost certainly take on Langdon. A couple of yards out to the 30. Benson on the tackle, Colin Curl watching on as Mark Horner gets in on the offensive action for St. Mary's.
Bottom half.
Happy to have you here on Beck Sports as nearly all the games on this semi-Saturday developing some wide margins except down in 9-man as reeling that in right at the 40-yard line for a first down. Thomas Jackson on the reception. And it does bring up a St. Mary's first down. Dosh starting to settle in a little bit, and you know St. Mary's needs their passing game even more than before in a 4-score game.
That's a tough throw to make, too. Throwing against his momentum, running the other way, and a nice sliding catch down towards the ground by Jackson. You've seen Dosh look comfortable the last couple throws.
Dosh trying to hit the seam, looking for Wiseman. It is incomplete. Nice coverage, making the play right at the point of attack is Ezra Longthorne.
Longthorne had the interception last drive, and that wasn't Dosh's fault at all. He put that right on the money for Pitts, and Pitts juggled it a little bit and lost the handle on it, and then Longhorn flew in for that interception. That time, he gets a hand on it, bats it incomplete, looking for Wiseman, his favorite target.
Ezra, one of the many seniors on this Hillsboro Central Valley team, trying to continue the year-long coronation for the undefeated Burros. Dosh had Wiseman a little bit in front.
A little bit in front. I think it was just a communication breakdown between those two. Wiseman started slowing up a little bit. Dosh thought he was going to keep running, so about 2 or 3 steps in front of Wiseman on the throw. A couple times in a row he's tried to go that way. The first one was covered very nicely. The second one he just let him a bit too much.
This is the St. Mary's team that came into the game averaging 30 points a game. But they have run into the wall that is the Hillsboro defense. Still pitching the shutout halfway through Q3. Dosh, deep drop, nearly intercepted right through the waiting hands of Caden Pastian.
He's been so good defensively. That goes right through his hands, and it was nearly caught by Wiseman afterwards. But Pastian, man, he has been so good. It's just everywhere. Tackles on fumbles, nearly intercepts it. I mean, he has done everything defensively for the Burros today as he brings up a 4th down with this near interception.
Benson has been Mr. Incredible on the offensive side, but all of his feats have been matched by Caden on the other side, the junior, having a ball-out game. Fair catch, received by Wright.
Burros will have 1st and 10 from their own 35.
So the Burros go to work at their own 35-yard line. Looking at this point to erase any doubt.
Not that this changes what Hillsboro wants to do at all, but you can expect they are going to go on the ground exclusively from here on out. Up 4 touchdowns. They've got an incredible run game. They don't look to pass it much the way it is, but you can already start thinking about milking that clock being up 4 scores. I know there's a quarter and a half left, but that's where you're at this point.
Sure enough, first play, Benson off center, somehow again exploding through the big scrum. Works his way to the 40 for a gain of 5.
On that stop, gain of 5, 2nd down and 5 for the Burros.
It really feels like Oscar Benson might have a 100% broken tackle rate. The initial contact has never been enough against him today.
No, you've seen him been brought down behind the line, maybe once or twice all day long today. I mean, other than that, it's just the defensive line gets some penetration for St. Mary's, and they'll hit him around the line of scrimmage or even behind, but his ability to spring loose from those tackles and pick up yards after the contact has been crucial today for his run game, as it is all season long and all career long for him, but it's been on full display today.
There's no question. Barnhart's been the only one who's been able to wrestle him to the ground in the backfield. They go back to him. Oscar came back and looked for a second hole. Still working his way through Jackson Wiseman, the rest of the St. defense. Able to limit him to a 1-yard gain.
Gain of about 1. Third and 3 for the Burros.
Mentioned those 30 points per game on the season for St. Mary's. Hillsboro An offense that averages 31 per contest, and they're right about at that mark here, if not ahead of it here in Q3.
And their defense is, if it's possible to be ahead of 6 points per game allowed, they're there right now in a shutout.
Playing as good as they have all year. Benson strings it far side, cuts upfield, first down. Hillsboro Central Valley.
It's a big run from Benson there on a third down and short. He just bounces to the outside. St. Mary's defense couldn't contain him and keep him in the tackles. That allows Benson to pick up the first down.
One of the remarkable things about Oscar's day, too, is he's done it every possible way. Runs to the outside, off tackle, off guard, off center, doesn't matter. He's converted at a massive clip.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can keep him inside between the tackles, or if he gets outside, I mean, he's able to break big runs either way, and he's shown that today.
Near side run. HCV getting some explosive running from Ezra Longthorne. The spellback comes in and works his way to the 40. If you've got a football in your hands and an HCV helmet, you're doing good today.
Yeah, that's a nice job by Longthorne. He made the big play defensively on the interception a couple drives ago that set up the Hillsboro Central Valley most recent touchdown. And they fake it one way, give it to Longthorne, and we've been talking Benson, but this entire run game for Hillsboro Central Valley has just been impossible to stop for St. Mary's today.
Longthorne's one of the Saints' killers. He had the big day in the regular season matchup, and sure enough, on a per-touch basis, phenomenal again. Handoff right up the gut, held on to. Gallagher's got it for a gain of a whole lot. He's still in bounds inside the 20, but a flag right back at the line of scrimmage, likely bringing it back for Hillsboro.
Yeah, I think that's more than likely coming back, and the HCV offensive line knows it too. They're already backpedaling.
Holding on Hillsboro Central Valley. Haven't seen a ton of penalties against either team. Very clean game in the penalty sense, dirty in the field kicking up because of the snow sense.
First and 20.
So first down and 20 right at midfield. Gallagher's going to keep it himself once again. He gets a chunk of the lost yardage back.
Gets about 8 of those 10 yards on the penalty right back, and now it's a second down and long. That's just what you want to do on any penalty situation is get the yardage back. They get almost all of it on the carry from Gallagher right up the middle.
Special thanks for our game sponsors today, Hallstatt Telephone Company, YourLiveEvent.com, Magnuson's Tires and Services, Irie Insurance Agency, and Casey's General Store right here in Hillsboro. YourLiveEvent.com, powered by Hallstatt Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting, your home for Hillsboro Central Valley Athletics. Whitley works his way inside the 40, at the 39-yard line.
Stepner on that stop. Third down and 8 for the Burros.
Still 8 yards to go for Hillsboro Central Valley. Might only need 4 yards per play, although Coach Scott Olson leaning a little more towards punt here at half two with the big lead and the elite defense.
Yeah, inside the 40-yard line, though, I would expect if you pick up at least 2 or 3 yards on this play right here and you're looking at a 4th and 5 from the 35, you're going for it.
Winding that play clock all the way down. Longthorne fighting through, but only gets the short gain.
Yeah, about a yard, so that does make this interesting here. And sure enough, it looks like the punt unit's coming on. They don't get quite enough to make it worth it. You're still looking at a 4th and long situation with 7 yards to go. And the goal here, again, is pin St. Mary's as far back as you can. Got them down to the 20 last punt, and you're probably even thinking inside the 10 here if you can.
Chris Birnbaum, the one who blew it up there for St. Mary's. Scott Olson may have been watching Beck Sports last night as there was a big comeback from the Mandan Braves. Hillsboro doing all they can to prevent that, letting their defense go to work. That's a nice punt. Dying right in front of the goal line for St. Mary's to get their first score of the day. They're going to have to go almost the entire field. That's down by Coy Olson.
Ends up being the right call to punt that football away inside the 10-yard line. You got to go 90-plus here for St. Mary's to score. Here with just under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Happy to have you here in a game brought to us by Farmers Union Insurance, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, as well as West Dakota Chevy Dealers, Bell Bank, and Dagelman Industries. Dagelman Industries is engineered tough. Coach O relaying the signs as Drew Dosh goes back to work. Dosh completing the first. Gain of about 8 yards, working it down to Britt Seffner.
It's a good pickup on the first play here. They go through the air, not a lot of room to work back there, not much breathing room inside the 10-yard line, but a good quick route by Seffner. Dosh gets it out of his hand in a hurry, and enough for 9 yards here in a second down and short situation for the Saints.
Those quick passing plays have been good for HCV. As well as for St. Mary's, now they take the deep shot. Wiseman was hand battling all the way down the field with Longthorne, and it's advantage for Ezra Longthorne. Seemed a bit shaken up.
Longthorne's been great in coverage today. The interception is the play that pops to your mind right away, but there's been a couple different times he's been tasked with shadowing Wiseman, the top target on this St. Mary's team, and he's done a nice job on him.
See Longthorne go down, get tied up a little bit. He was grabbing at that elbow, but he stays right out there. Now a handoff, trying to just get that conversion. And it looks like it will be a first down for St. Mary's.
Isaac loosely on the stop. That will be a first down for the Saints.
So SMCHS keeps the drive alive. No margin for error now for St. Mary's. Every time you touch the football, you basically have to score at this point.
Yeah, you're at that point without a doubt. You're under a minute to go in the third quarter. You're going into the fourth down, 4 touchdowns. If you don't score every time you touch it, you're in a tough spot.
Wiseman managed to elude a couple of defenders, works his way out across the 30, and St. Mary's putting together their best drive in a long time.
I think that's where this comeback has to start for St. Mary's. It's going to be done almost exclusively through the air, and getting that ball out to Wiseman as much as you can is helpful. Best receiver on this St. Mary's team. Nothing special there. A short route. Dosh gets in the ball. Wiseman picks up a few more yards after the catch.
About 30 yards and a couple of first downs. St. Mary's beginning to string it together. Dosh, quick ball. Out of the hands, may have caught just a piece of Caden, who continues an incredible day.
His day in the pass coverage right now has been so good. I mean, just getting hands on every ball thrown in his direction. It looked like Pitts was wide open up the seam, was going to be able to make the catch and possibly pick up a first down. Pastian flies in there, gets a fingertip on it. That's enough to break up the pass. He's been the best guy defensively for Hillsboro Central Valley.
Dosh had some time, now lets it fly near side, too tall. Hoping to find Mike Solway.
That'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Saints.
3rd down. St. Mary's perhaps just going to try and get a few yards to make it 4th down and manageable here. Not wanting to punt the football anymore. Down 4 scores. Either the Highliners or the Miners await in Fargo. Heavy blitz. That was nearly blown up by Oscar Benson. Instead, it's Henningsgaard who gets there for Hillsboro Central Valley. How about the lateral quickness for Carson Henningsgaard?
That's the first time in a while we've seen Horner run the football. He picks up just a few yards and, like you said, makes it 4th and manageable right now.
After the storm passes, after you've called your insurance agent, make your next call to Wrestler Siding and Windows. In the community since 1976. That's a lot of storms, a lot of window and siding repairs, and a lot of satisfied customers. Wrestler Siding and Windows uses only the finest products available and offers outstanding craftsmanship. Wrestler Siding and Windows does 100% of their own work from start to finish. It's good to know that the same people that bid the job will do the job, building confidence and trust in every customer every day. Wrestler Siding and Windows.
ReadyTech. We are client-focused, technology-driven. ReadyTech is your go-to for managed IT, phone systems, security systems, web design and hosting, networking, and cybersecurity. With offices located in Ellendale, Lisbon, Fargo, Grand Forks, Bismarck, and Aberdeen, South Dakota, we are readily available to assist you. Visit www.readytech.com and see all that we have to offer to make your business run more efficiently.
Dan Schmeeker and St. Mary's needing a fourth down to try and keep hope alive on this drive and very likely in this game. Dosh tipped and incomplete. I think Oscar Benson may have clipped it.
From the St. 30.
So Hillsboro Central Valley gets the turnover on downs. Another look here at the fourth down heave for St. Mary's. Ashton in on that one as well. He seems to be on every defensive play. And now for HCV, it's hold on to the football and you go to Fargo time.
They'll take as much time as they can off the clock, but they're starting at the plus 37. A great opportunity to just extend this lead here with a few plays, run a few minutes off the clock, try to go up 35-0 here in the fourth.
You noted it earlier, Noah. This is a Hillsboro team that loves this situation because they run the ball so well. Oscar Benson proves that point. He goes to the 12-yard line, 26 yards for Oscar Benson, as he starts to think about a 300-yard type day.
Yeah, this is exactly – they've been in the same situation how many times this season. They're up big late, and then they can just salt the clock away because they've got one of the best running backs in the entire state running the football.
15 touchdowns in the regular season. They go back to him here. He works his way inside the 10-yard line to the 9. A few more yards for OB.
Chris Birnbaum on the stop for the Saints.
The other A game very close, but we're starting to learn the teams that'll play next Friday. We knew the AAA teams coming in, Century and Cheyenne. Langdon, Kidder County, up a few scores, I should say. So Kidder County likely going to play in Fargo. It's a final in Velva, so it'll be Bishop Ryan headed east as well. All the other games still up in the air. Right up the gut. Gallagher just dives, and he'll be just short. It'll be third down. No issue for HCV as it lets them kill some more time.
Yeah, you care less about putting the ball in the end zone here and more about just picking up a few yards at a time. Try to run as much clock as you can.
That Kidder County score is now 38-6, so we can go ahead and say pretty definitively the Wolves will play in Fargo.
Yeah, early fourth quarter in that game, so up 32 points right now.
Get up there, let's go!
Good year from the Wolves.
Yeah. Only loss winds up at the hands of the Lions of Linton HMB.
Who's playing in the other semifinal.
They meet them there, as that one is tight between them and Cavalier. Timeout Burrows. Hillsboro Central Valley about to head to Fargo for the third straight year.
YourLiveEvent.com thanks everyone who sponsored this season's broadcast. YourLiveEvent.com will be your home for the North Dakota Class B Region 2 Volleyball Tournament in Grafton. Catch every match live on YourLiveEvent.com. Visit the website and become a subscriber on YouTube today.
Still 7s in Beulah as the Valley City Highliners playing along their script have a shot.
Defense.
Exactly
That's what you get from Valley City. You know they don't get blown out because they rarely ever allow more than 20 points in a game.
Could be a really impressive story there for Valley City after struggling to win a game a couple of years ago. Perhaps headed to the Dakota Bowl. Whoever comes out on top in that game, we can go ahead and pretty definitively say will be playing the Burros of Hillsboro Central Valley. Lutley into the end zone, and Hillsboro may just be headed a little ways south in about a week.
Second touchdown of the game for Lutley here. He fights through some contact on the fullback dive. Takes a little bit extra, but he just falls his way into the end zone. And this is the exclamation point for the Burros.
Went to the Dome the last couple of years, played Langdon in Class A. Langdon will be there again, but they will not play Hillsboro Central Valley. Extra point is up, and it is good. HCV. Welcome to Double A.
This is Chris Brecken from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. At RDK, we specialize in seed meter calibration, planter maintenance, and offer the full line of precision planting products. Walking your fields with you, helping you identify maintenance issues on your planter, developing a plan that puts you back in control of your planter. That's what we do here at RDK. Call RDK Enterprises 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
Jumping around right now, the Hillsboro student section, the parents, the fans, all loving this game. And there has been little opportunity for them not to enjoy it. This thing's been HCV in every phase from the word go.
It really hasn't been a spot in this game where St. Mary's has challenged HCV much. I mean, a couple drives here and there, they moved the football, but 0 points on the scoreboard right now. Hillsboro Central Valley has done it on both sides of the football. And these fans can smell a third straight trip to the Fargo Dome.
Some early turnovers taking the St. Mary's offense out of rhythm. And now even special teams beginning to turn towards the team in the blue jerseys after St. Mary's had tremendous opening field position. That ball's loose again. St. Mary's believing they have it. Hillsboro signaling the same, and it will be SMCHS with another fumble recovery.
That's the fourth time St. Mary's has let the football hit the ground, and they've been lucky. 3 of those 4 times they've been able to fall back on the football and recover it.
And if you're the Saints, Noah, that has to be the storyline you kind of cling to. It's upsetting, but you had to get into that comeback script so early in this game because of those fumbles, put you behind the sticks, and the ultimate turnovers with the interception.
2 plays into the game, they were already playing catch-up. You know, Benson gets a nice 8 or 9 yard run on the first play for the Burros, and then he explodes for 75 and a touchdown on the second play from the line of scrimmage for Hillsboro Central Valley. So you're down 7-0 to basically start this game, and they had to play catch-up from the beginning, and it just felt like they were giving the football up. You know, an interception here, a fumble there, you know, another fumble that they don't necessarily lose the football on. They had 3 of those today, but it's still one of those things that's in the back of your mind. Colin Curl coughed the football up 3 times in the first quarter.
Some of the youngsters getting in now for Hillsboro Central Valley. Gavin Mitzel made that last tackle. The sophomore doing battle as Dosh runs the option. Dosh cuts up first down for St. Mary's. Sam Preston on the tackle. And right now, if you're St. Mary's, you're just trying to break this shutout. Change this note in the history books. Even as you will fall and not play in Fargo for the first time these last 4 years.
Yeah, I'm not surprised whatsoever that Hillsboro Central Valley wins this game. I'm just a little surprised in the fashion that it happened. 20-7 in the regular season, close game, back and forth. I thought we would see a 1 or 2 score game the entire way. A big play at the end of the fourth quarter maybe have been a deciding factor, but That was never the case. From about the start or middle of the second quarter, it was a rout in the way of the Burros.
The other thing to touch on that is important to note as you begin to do the postmortem on this St. Mary's season, the loss of Joey Heinert in the very first game completely and utterly changes the outlook for SMCHS.
8 carries into the season. You and I were there for the season opener against Shanley when it happened. He was 8 carries, and he was averaging about 8 yards per carry in those 8 touches before he went down. I mean, when you've got your all-state running back going down for injury and then he's out for the season and you haven't seen him in a snap ever since that injury, that's tough to come back from. And Colin Curl did a fantastic job, the junior running back, all season long for the St. Mary's Saints. Averaged over 100 yards per game on the ground, and he fit in for an all-state guy about as well as you can ask for all season long, especially for a team that relied heavily on him to run the football all year long.
That's just it. Heinert is as valuable to his team as Oscar Benson is to Hillsboro Central Valley.
Very much similar players in how they play.
Dosh off of the roll. He's in trouble, and he's brought down. Dylan Bai just checked into the game. He's already got himself a sack.
And a cool moment, like you mentioned, some of these Hillsboro Central Valley reserves and underclassmen getting some time in a semifinal game. You may see that in some routes in the regular season, but when you're getting to the point where you're playing in semifinal games to go to the state title and you've got reserves in because you're up 35-0 on such a historically great St. Mary's program, you're doing something right, and it's been all Burros.
Historically great is a perfect way to describe St. Mary's. 7 total Dakota Bowl wins throughout the history of this Saints program. Hillsboro's had a lot of success as Hillsboro Central Valley and separated as Hillsboro and Central Valley in the Class A and 9-man ranks. But the one final frontier for HCV, a trip to the Dakota Bowl in AA. They've been there in A, they've been there in 9-man, never in 2A until it seems right now.
You know how hard it is to go up a class and be the best team in that class all year long? And they have not faltered once.
No. Dosh in trouble. And he will take off. And not faltered once. And you could make the argument, not even necessarily challenged.
No.
I mean, 20-7 is a good game, but that's still a 2-score win for HCV. When these two met up, the East's interesting. I mean, you talk about the Kindred Vikings, who had an elite defense. You talk about Valley City, but, I mean, overall, Hillsboro Central Valley commanding in every game they've played.
Yeah, they certainly have. And you kind of expected that. You knew they would be one of the best teams in the state, but maybe not the way they won. You know, I mean, they just beat everybody pretty handily on their way to a third straight trip to the Dakota Bowl.
Dosh runs the speed option on 4th down, keeps it as he has almost this entire fourth quarter. Preston gets there. That ball pops out, but forward progress had been stopped. It's still good enough for a St. Mary's first down. Clock continues to roll with the 30-plus margin for the Burros.
That'll be a first down for the Saints.
Yeah, who Hillsboro Central Valley will play next week will be interesting to find out. You know, I think it's a couple different types of football with Beulah, with the offense that they run, you know, with the triple option basically, where you never know where the football is at. They've got a whole bunch of guys in the backfield. In Valley City, where it's an all defensive-minded team who rarely gives up 20 in a game. It could be 2 completely different-looking games.
Play to the near side, and that is fitting for Hillsboro Central Valley. An interception by Samuel Preston.
You said it, how fitting, because turnovers have been the story today, and that is a good-looking pass from Dosh. He's got time to throw. Nice slant route, goes right through the hands of his target, and Preston just falls right into the football. Another Hillsboro Central Valley turnover that they force.
A thank you to our game sponsors. I would imagine most of whom are pretty happy right now. Hallstatt Telephone Company and YourLiveEvent.com, your home for HCV Athletics, a team headed to the Dakota Bowl, as well as Magnuson's Tires and Service, Irie Insurance Agency, Casey's General Store. All on the ground here for Hillsboro Central Valley, and it's all but written now.
Second down, 11.
There's an irony to it. HCV having to get through the old guard. You can't play Shanley. They're up in AAA. So it is this St. Mary's team that has been absolutely dominant the last 5 years blocking Hillsboro's way to the Dakota Bowl. And that's not to say this is a David versus Goliath story. It's not. Hillsboro isn't the small kids making their way, but still, the old challenger in the way, overcome by the Burros.
You want to beat the best to be the best.
Right.
You got to do that in order to get to the title game at the new level, coming up a class to AA. And the St. Mary's team has dominated AA for the last decade. Shanley as well. You can argue that it was the St. Mary's and Shanley show year in and year out because it was. Those two teams met in the state title game a lot the last few years, and like you said, Shanley goes up to AAA, so you couldn't play them. You play St. Mary's, who was in the title game last year, was in the title game the year before and won it all. I mean, they're consistently at the Fargo Dome, and to take down this St. Mary's team that's been so good for the last few years in commanding fashion says a lot about the team that Hillsboro Central Valley has.
Some other scores for you. Through 3 quarters in Cavalier, Linton and the hometown NATOs are still tied, a touchdown apiece. The Linton Lions, as a fumble is on the turf, 1 quarter away from a rematch with Kidder County for a state championship. That'd be something.
That would be. We had that regular season game back in, what was it, week 3 or 4 of the year when Linton took down Kidder County at home. That would be something to see them two play in the 9-man title game.
Meanwhile, there's a burger up in Cardinal Country. Langdon area, Edmore Munich, 50-0.
How good is that Langdon team?
It's funny. You and I were talking about this during the week. If you put Langdon up here in AA, they are still very much a contender. And it would have been a lot of fun to watch them play this HCV team. Instead, they'll both play in Fargo, but in separate matchups.
Yeah, they've got the athletes to play with a lot of teams across the entire state. I think the size, they wouldn't have much of a chance against some AAA teams.
As that ball comes out, Gavin Wright on the tremendous punt coverage. Hillsboro Central Valley gets one more. Ezra Longthorne came away with the football.
Pretty fitting way for this one to end, isn't it? That's just the day that it's been on both sides, for St. Mary's and for Hillsboro Central Valley.
Wright comes home with the spear. Longthorne finishes it off. Halfway to 10 turnovers for St. Mary's Central High School. And they'll look back in frustration, but it will be Hillsboro Central Valley as the fans come to their feet.
It's just surprising to see it happen to St. Mary's because they were a team that forced a lot of turnovers defensively throughout this entire year, and they just got demolished in the turnover margin today against the Burros.
Victory formation. Hillsboro Central Valley, for the first time in AA, will play in the Dakota Bowl, their 3rd straight trip to Fargo.
Hillsboro Central Valley Burros 35. Bismarck St. Mary's Saints 0.
The celebration begins in Hillsboro and Buxton as one of North Dakota's elite programs will once again play in the final game of the year. We take a quick timeout. On the other side, we give you our player of the game and wrap things up after an impressive win for Hillsboro Central Valley.
Everyone knows OK Tire does tires, but we're so much more. OK Tire is a full automotive service shop ready to meet all your vehicle's mechanical needs. OK Tire is state-of-the-art. Our highly trained techs work with integrity and teamwork. OK Tire is customer service. We are professional sales staff with years of knowledge and experience and a comfortable remodel waiting room. With 59 years of honest pricing and no hidden costs, OK Tire and service is more than just tires.
Jamestown Regional Medical Center should change their name. They should add a hot tub and call it the Jamestown Regional Medical Resort. The care there is very personal. Dr. Dean has replaced 3 of my joints. He's the one I trust. Talented doctors and compassionate nurses are my 2 reasons to choose JRMC. What are yours?
Same day and next day appointments available by phone or online. Schedule direct for appointments in Carrington, Jamestown, and Valley City.
Evangel is one big church family that meets every week in multiple locations to worship Jesus, reconnect over coffee, and enjoy life together. We believe that a relationship with Jesus is best lived out in community. You can view service times at goevangel.org or watch live on Beck Sports Sundays at 9 a.m. Evangel, connecting real people to a real God.
Get off the trail at Totten Trail Bar and Grill. Stop in and fuel up at the 24-hour Sinclair station. Enjoy a famous Totten Trail burger or a pizza. Check out the daily lunch and drink specials. Happy hour from 5 to 6. Enjoy your favorite sports teams on 6 flat-screen TVs. Hotel and RV sites available. Book your next event in the beautiful banquet hall. Get off the trail at Totten Trail, north of Lake Audubon on Highway 83.
This presentation of Burrows football is sponsored in part by the following. Magnuson's Tire and Service, specializing in all auto and farm tires. They can also help with tracks and toppers for your UTV or ATV. Irie's Insurance Agency. And Casey's General Store. Good luck and go Burrows.
Hi, I'm Adam Thielen. On behalf of Choice Bank, I'm proud to announce and congratulate the People First player of the game. This outstanding athlete is an inspiration to their team and community. The Thielen Foundation and Choice Bank are committed to helping people reach their full potential.
A tremendous effort from a number of players on the Hillsboro Central Valley Burrows. But Noah, when you get a quarter of a way to 1,000, you get to be player of the game. Oscar Benson started this game running wild, never stopped.
Second play from line of scrimmage is when he did this, when almost the entire length of the field scored the touchdown, and he put Hillsboro Central Valley up 7-0 at that point, just a couple minutes in, and man, did the Burrows not look back once on a way to a 35-0 win over St. Mary's. He led the charge. A lot of other guys, I mean, it was a full team effort today for Hillsboro Central Valley. A number of guys stand out offensively, a number of guys stand out defensively, but I don't think none more than that guy right there in Benson.
So a phenomenal effort puts Hillsboro Central Valley on to Fargo, where they will play the Beulah Miners. Number 1 from the east, number 1 from the west, for it all from the Fargo Dome. That's going to do it for us here in Hillsboro. So for our entire crew here at the Borough and Back to Back Studios on the campus of the University of Mary, we hope you enjoyed it. The final from Hillsboro, the Burrows 35, St. Mary's nothing.
American Crystal Sugar Company, with their 4,000-plus employees and shareholders, are deeply rooted in the communities of the Red River Valley. They're committed to the sustainability and growth of their business and to improving lives in the places where we work and live by investing in people, our communities, and the future of American Crystal Sugar. Visit crystalsugar.com to learn more about scholarships, grants, volunteerism, donations, and more through the Community Roots American Crystal Giving Program. Growing strong community roots. American Crystal Sugar Company.
At Cass Clay, family comes first.
I'm Casey Schlotteroff. I'm a
fourth generation dairy farmer. Every one in my family is involved day to day. I got 3 other brothers, 2 of them are full-time on the farm. Mom helps feed calves every day. Dad is around and drives tractor. My 6-year-old already tells me that, Dad, I want to milk cows. We've been providing Cass Clay with the freshest quality milk for decades.
Cass Clay, made for families, owned by family farmers, homegrown, pure goodness.
At CHS Northern Plains, we are proud to be one of your family's biggest fans on and off the farm. Our team at CHS Northern Plains is committed to supporting our local communities and helping you and your next generation succeed on a family farm. We wish all of our area teams the best of luck this season. Visit us online at chsnorthernplains.com or stop by any of our locations today to see how we can be your biggest fan.
It's great to have the kids visit. An engineer, a business owner, and a doctor, and I couldn't be prouder. But student loans from B&D really helped. But their accomplishments are all their own.
Bank of North Dakota, helping you achieve more.
My plan was to get a degree in engineering. And with the help of a student loan from Bank of North Dakota, I did. If you want to build something solid, you need a plan.
Bank of North Dakota, helping you achieve more.
Howdy, folks. It's the County Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Boston breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill